I started my addiction, I guess, when I was 21. I got married and we had some issues. It lasted about 9 years, and then I decided that I could make my own choices, and I went out and did even more. Did that for about 2.5 years, and it took a toll on me and my family. It took me losing my dad before I realized that I needed to do something different with my life. About a week before my dad died, maybe 2 weeks, my family drugged me into PDAP to try to get me help. They were going to try and send me to treatment. So I stopped using anything for 20 days after my dad died. And I was coming to meetings and everything, and then my mom had a heart attack. So that's whenever I went back out and went real hard. I was suspecting a murder. And finally, after 8 failed UAs at the probation office, they put me in jail. And that was the moment that I decided then that God set me down for a reason and I had to do something different with my life.
You know, Sarah and I talk about it all the time. Everything in my life changed when I got sober. I mean, my friends all changed. The people I did things with changed. The where I hung out changed. And perhaps changed my life. I've been sober since June 27, 1978. No drugs, no alcohol, no nothing. And man, my life's different.
I heard a lot that it's not the drug and the drink that's a problem, it's me, and I was afraid to take a look at who I was. But after working the steps and having a sponsor, and working the steps and showing up to the meetings, figuring out who I am has probably been the best thing that could have happened to my life, because I know who I am. I've been sober since March 27th of 2018, and I don't know, life is amazing today. Like, it's definitely brought a closer relationship with me and my mom that I've never had. Honestly, my favorite thing is the friendships I've built within PDAP, because I didn't have those friends out there in the streets, and today I do have those friends, and I wouldn't have had those friends if it wasn't for coming to PDAP and meeting the people that have been in the exact same spot that I've been in. Coming in, I was really scared because I was afraid it was going to be a room full of judgmental people. And I was welcomed when I come into the meetings, and just keep showing up, and I've made some awesome friends because of that.
We opened Palmer Drug Abuse Program here in '81, and it's been the most remarkable ride I've ever been on. This is a community that is different than any. And so what the Palmer Drug Abuse Program does, it gives people an opportunity to start it over. It gives people an opportunity to make a difference in their own lives so they can make a difference in other people's lives. This program differs from others in that it's a program for people who want it, not for people that need it. But you gotta want it. You gotta want to do something. You gotta want to change something.
And when I came to PDAP in 2012, my life was a hot mess. I essentially had chosen addiction over my family, and I always felt super welcomed when I walked in there. Because when you come in there with a lot of baggage and a lot of shame and a lot of guilt and remorse, and you aren't sure if people are going to be judging you or how it's going to be. And people always told me they loved me, and they gave me hugs, and they just made me feel welcome no matter what I had gone through. And I actually was hired onto staff last year. The really cool thing about all of this is I get to see it from a different perspective now. I get to see the miracles. I get to see that light in people's eyes. I get to see that switch turn, and families get restored. And that to me is huge. I watch my own family get restored, but to watch parents get their kids back and marriages to be, reunified and things like that is really neat. It really is.
PDAP is unique in that we started a group called Special People for Children of Addicts. What people don't realize is often that drugs affect children drastically in families. And I'll be counseling a mom who's been on drugs, and she'll say, "Oh no, my kids don't know. They don't know I do this stuff." And then you talk to their kids, and their kids will say, "Oh, I know exactly where mom hides the dope, and I know and how she does it and how she puts it in her arms." So they don't miss anything. And it drastically affects them. So we started a support group just for children. It's a safe group for them to come. We do a lot of work with them on self-esteem and it wasn't your fault. A lot of times children internalize and they think somehow the addiction was their fault. If they would just make better grades, or if they would do better or act better. then their parents would do drugs, and why do their parents love drugs more than they love them, and things like that I hear on a regular basis. So one of the biggest things we say to kids over and over is you didn't cause it and you can't cure it. The great thing about PDAP is we do individual counseling and we have group meetings, and so people get the benefit of helping each other. That's kind of how it works here. You get sober and then you help the next person get sober. And PDAP is unique in that we have the whole community supporting us, and the funding that we get is from the community.
We don't receive any state, federal, United Way funding. All of our money is raised locally. Doesn't cost anybody anything to be in this program. Doesn't cost anybody anything to come to counseling. Doesn't cost anybody anything to partake in meetings.
Drugs and alcohol affect everybody's life, and you don't have to go very far to see what it's doing to societies, but there's just so much hope now with people and then with families, and PDAP covers the whole family. It's a whole family deal, and I just love that you can get healthy, and not only for Hobbs, but like for Carlsbad and Eunice, Lovington. There's just a lot of communities that come over here for help, and we're very fortunate that we have that here.
I think PDAP is hugely important in Lee County because there's really nobody else that does what they're doing. Mm-hmm. And so if they don't do this, then it's going to fall back on the government to do it. And frankly, I don't think it would be done the same way.
Once you have been involved, I mean, you won't want to quit. You know, we feel like it's very important to help this program financially because of the rewards.
It was just a matter of taking that first step and coming in and talking to somebody and seeing what PDAP actually does for people. I mean, coming to PDAP changes lives. It's not just one person, it's families that are being saved because of the program of PDAP.
What we hope to teach people is that with God, all things are possible, and regardless of the things you've been through, God, as I understand it, works a lot of second, third, and fifth chances. And that's what we do. We want to be an alternative to a way of life that really, doesn't work.